Good morning everyone and welcome back to my channel English Literature. Today we will talk about William Bradford, the early colonial American pamphleteers. William Bradford, he was born in 1590 in Yorkshire village in the northeast of England. His father died in his infancy and he was reared by his relatives. He left England with a Puritan group to escape religious persecution. 1620, a group of Puritans sailed from Leyden and disembarked at Plymouth. They set up Plymouth Bay Colony. Bradford became the governor of that colony in 1621. He acted in his post till his death in 1657. 1630, he wrote his most famous book of Plymouth Plantation. You can have a look at the book. He works on this book sporadically. From time to time, he goes on adding the experience and the life and what is happening there. And it took roughly 20 years from 1630 to 1650 to write this book, and you can say this book is never completed because it was just like a document. He goes on putting the information from time to time. So even till his death and before his death, he goes on putting the information, adding some information, new history. So it is a great literary historical document, you can say in that way. This book describes English settlement, early English settlement in America, the arrival of the Pilgrim Fathers in the new land, and how the new settlers had to tackle the wilderness and desolation of the place, an account of the colony up to 1646, human wickedness and natural disasters. In Bradford's writing, we do not find the glorification of the new land that the earlier writers promised. Actually, Bradford had experienced the real world from the real point of view and not without any superficial level or without by wearing any pink glasses, rosette glasses from any. He found the life of the settlers and the aboriginal life and the class and conflict and the atmosphere, the situation, everything from a clear vision, clear perspective, and he just defined those things in his writing. For him, America was no paradise, no blessed garden, but a battlefield to fight for. And carrying out the civilizing mission was the aim, to fulfill God's power and benevolence. But of course, William Bradford was a Puritan at heart, and there is God's word that God has sent them to the mission of civilizing these native people, white man's burden. And that theme is a recurrent theme among all the Puritan writers. Pilgrims slowly dispersed to various parts of the country and settled. Bradford's of Plymouth Plantation is the first sustained documentary of early New England, very, very important. Second generation headed for a better place and greater wealth. Bradford co-authored a book with Edward Winslow, that is Mount's relation. One interesting, there is not any significant work of Bradford except this Plymouth Plantation, and there is another work, Mount's relation, it was co-authored. One interesting fact to note that Bradford was the first person who used the word pilgrims to describe the community of dissenters who escaped England and sailed through the Atlantic on the Mayflower ship. We have talked about these historical events earlier in our colonial historical flow. The timeline. Bradford's work remained unpublished for over 2 centuries. During the American Revolution, the manuscript was lost mysteriously. In 1855, the manuscript was found in London, and after much tussle and negotiation, finally it was returned to the United States in 1897. It had its new place in Massachusetts State Library. Bradford's manuscript was a valuable document for contemporary historians and writers like Cotton Mather and Samuel Sewall. Cotton Mather and Samuel Sewell, when we will talk about Cotton Mather and Samuel Sewell, we will find that Bradford's Plymouth Plantation helped them a lot in shaping their literature and their ideologies and their values regarding the colonial American history. And even if we read about Thomas Morton, the dissenter, the story of Thomas Morton, we will found all these documents, all these information, historical documents in Bradford's Plymouth Plantation. Whenever we read about the other topics regarding colonial American history and other writers, other authors, Thomas Martin and Annie Bradstreet or any other, will found their mention of this Plymouth Plantation again and again, because about them, about their life, their activities, all are inscribed and described by Bradford in his Plymouth Plantation. So Plymouth Plantation is a great important document of early colonial American history. It has more historical importance than literary importance. Okay, so thank you.